Hello traders, hello everyone, my name is Gregor and welcome to our new episode of Surfing the Elliott Waves, where I will look some of the most interesting developments for this week. This video has been brought to you by Orbex. I will cover Aussie dollar, Swiss, New Zealand dollar, Euro against the New Zealand dollar, and German DAX. So, as you know, I've been away for the last 10 days, and now finally, after some volatility on the side of the US dollar, we are seeing some very interesting developments. Now, firstly, looking at the Aussie dollar, yes, we are seeing lower prices, lower swing low here after a lower swing high printed at 78.90, but looks like that this is a free wave movement away from these 2021 highs. What we see is a wave C that is currently approaching some very nice supports here at 74 level. So from an Elliott wave perspective, we could be now moving into the final stages of this wave C. Keep in mind that the trend is still up from last year, meaning that we should rather stick with this trend after each free wave retracement rather than fighting and turning aggressively to the downside. Looking at the 4-hour chart, as you know, wave C is a motive wave, so it should be structured by 5 subwaves. And so far here, we can see waves 1, we have a wave 2, which was a flat correction, wave 3, a very sharp and strong black. Then you have a wave 4, and it looks like that now we are turning to the downside for a wave 5. Now, very nice support, as I said, could be around 7400, whereas wave C equals to wave A, also at this previous swing high printed from August 2020. So there's still a little bit of room left for more weakness, but once we will see this supported printed, well, that's when we should be very careful and be aware of potential new reversal. Now, if we'll see a 5 waves up from that projected support, then you know that market will turn back to the bullish side, and that's when we will be interested on the long side. Now, let's take a look also dollars against Swiss franc. Now, I've been turning here bullish on dollar Swiss. It was one of the pairs that had a very clear pattern when the US dollar actually turned to the upside across the board. So this was the pair that I put a lot of attention on, and it looks like that there is very nice potential building bullish case here for this currency pair. Now, notice that previously we had 5 waves up and then very big retracement here for 78.6, from where we are now seeing another 5 wave structure. It looks like that this could be wave 1, wave 2, extended wave 3, and notice that this recent retracement was quite slow and overlapping, definitely much more slower compared to the previous sharp rise. So typically that's the direction where we should look for after this pullback, which was very slow. So it has a corrective personality. More importantly, we have seen a break out of this downward channel, or bullish flag if you want, which means that the 5th wave here could be in the cards for a push to a new high. And I think that this dollar rise could actually be in play till we get the non-farm payrolls report on Friday. So for now, there's still some room left, but once we will potentially approach these projection levels, that's when we should be careful, because we know that after every 5 waves, market will typically make a free wave retracement. And now let's take a look also on the New Zealand dollar against the US dollar first. Now, we are clearly seeing a very strong reversal here away from last year low. So as I said already on Aussie, I'm expecting more upside within this direction, especially after each free wave of retracements. Now, looking at the daily chart here, you can see first leg to the downside that I labeled as a wave A. Then you had a wave B and wave C, which again could be very similar in distance compared to wave A. So there is room for more weakness here towards 68, I should say, 100, which makes sense, especially if we consider that we cannot count 5 waves down yet here on 4-hour chart. So this is wave 1, we had a wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and expecting a drop here for a wave 5. Okay, so ideally we will see a new low printed, but that's when we should be aware of potential new reversal, new bounce, especially if we will get the 5 waves up. Then again, this would be very interesting for the bullish case. Now also euro against the New Zealand dollar is showing quite interesting development as well. So now imagine that we see New Zealand dollar against the US dollar printing a new low, completing wave 5 of C of a high degree correction, and at the same time what I would be looking for is moving into a potential resistance here on euro against the New Zealand dollar. So this cross pair, when commodity currencies will again shift back to the upside against the US dollar, and maybe in risk on sentiment on stocks, that's when actually those crosses comes to the downside, because in a bull market, commodity currencies will pretend to do much better than euro or pound. So here, what I'm looking at is a wave 4 rally, which is still ongoing. It looks like that we could be dealing with an ending diagonal here if we print a new high. So despite higher prices, higher swing lows, higher swing highs, I still think that there can be limited upside, because the price action overall is looking very slow, choppy, overlapping, not really impulsive for the last few. This is for the last few months. So sooner or later, I think we will have top forming, and if we get a 5-wave drop and a break out of this upward channel, that's when actually we should be aware of more weakness for wave 5. And finally, let's take a look on German DAX. Now here we are tracking a corrective pullback here. I'm looking for a wave 4 after identified 5 waves up within wave 3. So it makes sense actually markets to slow down, to cool down maybe during the summer. But again, I think that this will be only a corrective pose with an uptrend. What I would pay attention on if we see a deeper prices from here is this bullish trend line, which is in place since March 2020. So after a retest of this trend line, that's when I would be looking potentially for a completed wave 4 and more upside later. Now looking at the 4-hour time frame, to be more specific regarding the substructure within a wave 4, well, notice that this first drop here was clearly in 3 waves, and then you had this 3-wave rise. So it looks like that we have a dealing with a complex correction. It can be a flat if market will continue very sharply to the downside, like now for wave 4 or 5 subwaves within a wave C, or if we'll see a slowdown after 3 waves drop, then of course this could also be a triangle, okay, in a wave 4. So in either case, I think that there is a risk that market will remain sideways or even bearish here with German DAX, and that there is not right time, in my opinion, to look for any new opportunities on the long side, because I think that we are in the middle of this consolidation of a wave 4. But when we will have enough evidences and price action to say that wave 4 is finished, well, that's when things could become very, very interesting. Traders, thank you very much for your attention. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and again, talk to you next week. Bye.